Welcome to Searching for RinoaCast, the Searching for Rino podcast.
Oh, no!
According to Wikipedia, George Jetson was born yesterday, July 31st. Hanna-Barbera screen caps on Twitter reveals that Jane, his wife, is up next. Born September 23rd, 2024, so you got 2 years and change to plan that out. So, life ends and begins. Speaking of life ending and beginning, Twitter revealing also that Marvelous Entertainment, or Marvelous Games, having their sales numbers nearly get halved. And on their Discord, they were, in so many words, axing all the fan servicey stuff even more there. As if people aren't already saying that that decision to go with no horny zonu Sony was gonna bite them in the ass. Do you not see what happened? Like, they're not dead, but they've taken more than a flesh wound right now. I did a coming soon on the game Deadcraft, but it failed to meet its sales target. There's a new JRPG coming later in the year called Loop 8 that I may find interesting enough to show. We'll see if that pans out. But yeah, this is another Thundercats Roar situation, or a DOA 6 situation, where they kind of like, yeah, you did it to yourselves, and I feel a little bad about it, but I'm clearly in the minority on that. It's, you voted with your wallets on this one, and that's just Japan's sales. Who knows how dismal things are for Marvelous here in the States, so a hitch in their get-along at the moment. Hopefully things improve, and by which I mean Marvelous takes the stick out of their ass and stops kowtowing to this fan service is wrong bullshit. That's why DOA's floundering along nowadays. The only thing keeping it going is that volleyball game. And interestingly enough, one person mentioned that the only thing really keeping Marvelous going is a gacha game for Senran Kagura. Yeah, a gacha game of all games. Found out they're owned by Tencent, so it's like, yeah, that's what I expected. Fan service doesn't have to just mean anime titties. Fan service is servicing the fans. Fickle as we are collectively, we don't like it when our support falls on deaf ears. We responded kind and took our money and business elsewhere. So, yeah, it's a possible ending for Marvelous. Like Ric Flair's last match, a possible ending. I would have scripted this podcast sooner, but I was just checking Twitter on the timeline about what was going on. The day before, I watched the lead-up parts to it where Jay Lethal asked Rick for a spot in the card, and Rick's like, no, brother, it's not for you. The part where Rick ribs Jeff Jarrett during the press conference with the 2 tickets to sit and watch. The part where he tries to help, Jay beats him up in the parking lot, and Jarrett tries to help up. He's like, for God's sakes, he's 70-something years old. That was the line of the... and then Rick blows him off. He's like, oh, I don't need your help, you carny piece of shit, or something, so many words or something like that. And then Jeff Jarrett starts booting his ass. I think he used Karen Jarrett's shoe. I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna open his ass up. I'm like, you don't need the shoe to do that. I think if you just look at Ric Flair intently for 5 minutes with the intent to hurt him, he'll just start. Ric Flair doesn't have a forehead anymore. He just has, this massive thing you can just, if I flicked him in the forehead, it's I wouldn't draw blood, but it just kind of start to, a little bit, and it's like, oh, there it is. I would have done a Rinoa Reacts on Saturday with all of those, but then the scenario kept playing in my head. I laughed and react to all of this, and then the day of the pay-per-view, what if he dies? He didn't, but that huge what if was enough for me to think that's in bad taste, so I may roll back on that later. I don't know. Yeah, but if I did it and then that happens, I'm like, well, shit, now it's in bad taste and I don't want that. He dies, that's one thing. If he somehow during the match shat himself, that's kind of funny, at least for a few minutes. You don't want anything super tragic. Embarrassment's what we're looking for. That's the money. My usual people I like to see tweet about wrestling stuff, at Not That Tom Green, for example, talk about that. There's other cool shit. Matt Cardona's all healed up from his injury. That's a plus. Glory to our true NWA World Champion. Yes. Jonathan Gresham put in work. Should have came out with that PWI 500 to troll. Couple championships on the line there. Like, it was just one of those super cards that was built around that one, like, possibility that, like, oh shit. Taker in the crowd, there was, like, shots of, from Twitter, like, Undertaker acting just like, It's like that, I'm reminded of that one scene in, Major League. He's like, I was good, don't ever fucking do it again. I was Taker to Flair. I'm like, oh shit. Apparently the Lucha 4-way was the best match of the night, according to Twitter. And then the day before SummerSlam was also really good from what I hear. Triple H at the helm, and shit went off the rails. We got Lesnar and a tractor, Bailey Dakota and Io Shirai, now named Io Sky. No relation to Kana Sky, so I hear. Big time Becky gets her face turned after a bout with Bianca Belair. Looking forward to that. And just like the one-man Brood again, which that Brood entrance... Is there a better entrance in wrestling in terms of just song and the pomp and circumstance, just the coming out from under the ring with the fire? Like, there might be no better entrance in wrestling than that. It's the summer of Paul, Jerry. Meanwhile, 2022 Jeff Jarrett can go back and say, yep, I was in both these pay-per-views. Ain't I great? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we got her. NECO-ARC coming to Melty Blood type Lumina, which as one person on Twitter described it pretty succinctly as a Morbius meme moment. Like, the internet willed this dubious little creature back and into the game. Technically, Neko was in the game already, just not playable. It was, just here's this, I think it was, what I looked was like a boss mode story or something in that for little Miyako. The other DLC character, Mash Kirelight, who according to the Type Moon Fandom Wiki is a demi-servant, so half human, half spirit shielder. But yeah, the NECO-ARC thing. Listen to the fans! Marvelous! That game was only on sale for a few days, but still like $30-some on PSN. With all the DLC characters, free, which I keep forgetting. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling froggy. I want to jump. I don't know. I had a lot of fun with the last two anime fighters in Under Night and Phantom Breaker Omni. I played those till I platted them. You know, I don't know. Maybe I haven't fully scratched that itch for anime fighters just yet. Talked a lot about that because I don't have anything on Snacking4Rinoa. One of our D&D players is COVID-ridden, so no tales of roleplay either. So we're down a couple segments, but with all this video game talk, it's only right to start with, what am I playing? Whoa, what are you playing? Whoa. Did a little bit of Twisted Metal Black, back when PS2 games on the PS4 were just, hey, they released classics that way without a service, and put trophies on them and HD'd them up, I guess. Guess I'm rusty on the whole car and gunning thing, because, man, the controls took me some getting used to. And then I'm like, getting my ass kicked a little bit. I'm like, So I'm moving faster than I can, and it's like, okay. I think it was like R2 is forward and L2 is back or something like that. Really weird controls. I forget. Or no, I set that up once and then I went back to like the other mode, and that's like your shoot buttons. No. Left stick I think was like to steer, and then right stick was like the gas and brake. I'm like, oh, this feels weird. But I have to keep it like that for I'm like, because I look up the trophy list and it's like, oh, we got cheat codes. God mode and a one-hit kill. I'm like, alright, make this even quicker. I didn't stick around too much on it. I played a couple of characters I uninstalled and maybe might reinstall later, I don't know. I tried to feel this one and maybe push to easily plat and then clear my 700 plus library of games, which I then added to with the Capcom Arcade Stadium second freebie that is Sansan. I'm like, ooh, okay. I'm a little better at that than 1942 or 1943 or whatever freebie they gave me. Actually, I think I bought that game at the time a little bit, so I don't know. I think I got or was it the Ghosts and Goblins? which also I'm not super great at. But Sun, yeah, just platform jumping and then just mash the buttons to shoot things. That game's pretty addictive. I don't know if I can push and play like the 100 hours on that one. I farmed the first stadium with the what was it? I put it on slow mode, and a lot of time was spent on Captain Commando. Find what works. Gotta get back into the challenges and make the most Capco or something like that. Played a little bit of Arcade Spirits. They really love pushing the Bagel Bites slogan without calling them Bagel Bites. They have like some names to, I guess, for their they say Pac-Man, they say like some games they have, and some games they do like parodies of, where it's like, okay, we don't have the license for this. I guess we can quote unquote push that. I don't get it. It's the whole game's kind of like that. It's like there's this and then there's not this. You know how there's like some voice acting, but not for every single line. It kind of takes me out of the game. In all honesty, I would have sat back and listened to everybody put on the voice performances and stuff. But yeah, trying to work up energy to even play some days. Feel like I'm reaching I don't want to wake up and do shit today. Nah. I do that for the podcast. That's like I need to do more stuff like that to push myself a little bit. But there's just days where it's just like, nah. Even trying to eat takes effort because it's like, oh, that's gonna make me sick and I'm gonna have to use the bathroom or something like that. But anyways, let's keep the gaming train rolling. Coming soon. Coming soon. Coming soon. Coming soon. Coming soon. Another 2 today. It's getting harder to find some things every week. But this is Frogun. The platforming makes me reminiscent for Bomberman 64. And we all know how goated that game is. Although the tongue reminds me of a Chameleon Twist, and I remember playing it. I don't remember much about it. That makes sense. I know I played it. I know it got a sequel, and I played that too. Yeah. And 64 games were very few and far between. When I rented things, I got what I got. But yeah, platforming things with the frog tongue just kind of... Was that a second player? Coins at a time ticking up. I guess that's for like speedrun levels. Oh, he's a rival. Kind of look at this. I'm like, how does this control? Sometimes platformers are a little iffy. Radio. But yeah, that was Frogun. That's out tomorrow. This a few days later on the 5th. Oh, I see another trailer that says a different character. Okay. Oh, I saw this one and thought it looked badass. I thought it was like the main character. I'm like, no, maybe it is a fighting game or something like that with multiple characters. Kind of like War of the Monsters. But yeah, this dragon with a horn. Oh yeah, 4-player. Gotta be. I tried War of the Monsters. It didn't vibe too well with it. The controls were kind of weird on me. This one looks like it's more of an emphasis on like the battle itself. So Maybe I'll like this one better. Look at this. Top down, looks like you're more in control of things. Oh, and if whatchamacallit comes down and attack you, like the humans with their like helicopters and stuff like that. It looks like just from that it could be 1v1, could be free for all, that sort of thing. I hear people really like Stray. That came out like last week. Hopefully these games do well and they'll like that too. I'm not so sure. Like Frog, and even look at that. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a niche. The Giga Bash I'm most looking at real quickly and thinking like, But with that done, let's move on to our next segment. The Adventures of Platinum Hunting. Pow! Glass shatter. There we go. Took a while. I used a sniper rifle this time. Key. I did have the energy to go beyond just booting Wild Arms and getting myself at least one new platinum this week. Few stronger than endgame bosses here, a pain in the ass to find Golem under the ocean there. Yeah, when I first played this on PS3, it was just to get that game done. Now there's like, oh, there's all this secret stuff I didn't even touch on. This one island where there's powerful enemies that are like 20,000 experience on kills, and you always fight 2, so you get like 40k. And there's like an item to double that amount. But by then I was like, I already knew like the whole cheat thing to get like 255 of this item, so you could like boost your stat ups to max before you even like get super into the game. I didn't do it all the way. I think I maxed out like some stats, but I was already in like the mid 50s by everything else, and you're pretty good by then. Kind of cool to revisit that game that quickly again and fight stuff I wasn't fighting before. It's like, okay, now I'm going out of my way to get the platinum on this one, so. And again, I still can't believe I got it as a freebie since I kind of paid for it already on PS3. That's my only explanation for it. But again, I don't have the other. My whatchamacallit came up, and I'm like, let me just get the essential for now. Let me just renew that for now. There's gotta be a couple of games on there where I'll look at and be like, yeah, maybe I'll do the 80 yearly thing. I'm like, show me more games before this frog jumps on that. But with that game at least 100%ed, current level 719, platinum trophies 428. That's the tally. That's the podcast. That's the time to play me out, Dove. Happy Odaiba Digimon fans. Happy August 1 warning, TNA and wrestling fans.
God damn it, baby, no, I ain't lying to you. I'm only gonna tell you one time.